Morning, sir. I am J. Kantikumar from CSM Department of B section from SRT College. Today I am presenting a CA2 assignment of the subject of oriented object-oriented programming Java. So my topic name is Introduction and Hierarchy of Standard Exception Classes. First of all, we are discussing about standard exceptions, understanding the structures and purpose of standard exception classes. So, introduction and hierarchy of standard exception classes. This is my topic. I will continue in this topic, sir. Introduction. This presentation covers standard exception classes in programming, highlighting their hierarchy and importance in error handling. So, number 1, introduction. Definition of standard exception classes. Standard exception classes are predefined classes in programming languages that represent various types of errors that can occur during the execution of a program. These classes provide a structured way to handle errors and enable developers to write about and fault tolerant code. So, purpose of exception handling. The purpose of exception handling is to gracefully manage errors that arise during program execution. Exceptions help in identifying problems, preventing program crashes, and providing feedback to the user. By using standard exception classes, developers can categorize errors, implement specific responses, and ensure that programs can recover from unexpected conditions. So, the purpose of this program is by using standard exception classes, developers can categorize errors by implementing the specific responses. Next, overview of exception hierarchy. Here we can see that the exception hierarchy is a structured representation that organizes various exception classes into a tree-like format. This hierarchy typically starts with a base exception class at the top, which is then extended by more specialized derived classes. Each level of the hierarchy allows for the categorization of exception according to their characteristics, enabling precise error handling based on the type of exception that occurred. Next, hierarchy. So, base exception class. The base exception class serves as the fundamental class for all exception in the hierarchy. It typically encompasses general properties and methods that can be utilized by all derived exception classes. This class allows for a uniform approach to catch and handle exceptions, ensuring that developers can manage unforeseen errors without needing to know the specific type of exception that might arise. So, this class allows for a uniform approach to catch and handle exceptions. So, it typically encompasses general properties and methods that can be utilized by all derived exception classes. And next, common derived exception. Here we can see about the derived exception classes extend the base exception class and represent more specific types of errors. Common examples include ID exceptions for input and output or input or output errors, null point exceptions for null references, and index out of bounds exception for invalid indicates line collection. These classes enable developers to handle specific situations with tailored responses, thereby improving code reliability. So, the common examples include ID exceptions for errors. And next, specific exception types. So, here the specific exception types address nice error circumstance and are often used to signal particular issues within applications. For instance, in network programming, classes might be created to handle connection timeouts or unreachable hosts, enhancing the robustness of network applications. Defining these specific classes allows for more granular control over error handling and recovery actions. And the conclusion. So, here is the conclusion of this topic. In summary, the hierarchy of standard exception classes plays a crucial role in error handling within programming. By establishing a clear structure with base and derived classes, Developers can effectively manage occurs, provide meaningful feedback, and maintain application stability. By understanding this hierarchy is essential for writing robust programs that can gracefully handle unexpected conditions. Thank you, sir. Thank you for this giving opportunity.